Have you ever found yourself wondering why there aren't more new and interesting games with innovative gameplay, beautiful visuals, and creative storytelling? Well then, I have great news. I've found just the game for you. And it's just your type. Literally. In today's humble opinion, we're writing strongly worded letters in Epistory, typing Chronicles. Epistory is a quaint little adventure game developed by Fishing Cactus and published by both Fishing Cactus and Plug-in Digital. But what makes it fascinating is that absolutely everything is controlled by your keyboard. Even the menus, if you want them to be, can be navigated by typing out the appropriate options. Granted, typing games have been done before. However, what makes this one particularly unique is the element of exploration that lets you unravel a surprisingly expansive world. Unlike similar games, you aren't always plastered to a single point, and even when you are, the camera is shifting and moving around to make the experience more dynamic. There's also the fact that as you progress the story, you'll unlock various different elemental abilities that affect the incoming hordes of enemies in different ways. For instance, fire will burn through the word after the one you type over time, resulting in what is essentially double damage, which encourages you to spread the love around and burn through waves quickly. If you need more time, you can switch to ice and freeze enemies in place, or wind to blow them backwards. There's also a bit of a leveling system that will enhance your attacks as well as your quality of life in the overworld, like adding a slight knockback effect on every attack to make the world less dangerous, or increased movement speed so that you can kite enemies when the need arises. Besides actual gameplay, another area where this game manages to shine is in its storytelling. You play as this foxy little lady right here. She's the little lady that rides around on a fox. Why? I don't know. I can't really tell you about the story since it all revolves around a big reveal, but I can tell you that while the delivery can come off as contrived every now and then, it's got an interesting back and forth between what's portrayed in the action and what's unveiled through the narration. The two are entwined through symbolism and theme, but never seem to directly correlate until it becomes very clear at the end. While I can't go into detail about the story, I can gush about its storybook wrapping, where it looks like absolutely everything is made of papercraft. It's beautiful and imaginative, and I have to admit I'm a sucker for this kind of aesthetic. They manage to capture so many feelings with how the world is portrayed, and there are times when the world is absolutely breathtaking. They even manage to throw in maps with surprising scale or verticality at times, and all of them are loaded with treasures to find, though they mostly just highlight the story to make it a little more obvious as to what's going on. Though I thoroughly enjoy the game, there are a few rough patches that I've noticed, especially concerning achievements. First of all, there's an achievement for typing a certain amount of characters consecutively without making a mistake, right? But there's no counter or indicator of how many characters you've managed to streak together, which can make it pretty foggy, especially when you feel yourself start to press the wrong key and switch it up but aren't quite sure if the press went through. Not only that, but I've been fucked over a few times when I've knocked an enemy off screen either with a knockback or wind effects, so when I continue typing the word, it's counted incorrectly, which isn't fair. Then there's the achievement for typing over 60 words per minute, which I am more than capable of doing. In fact, the last time I tried testing my typing speeds, I was somewhere between 75 and 95 words per minute every time. I'm not really sure which things constitute as words in the game, so I don't really know if spastically changing my elements between actual enemies would help me along with that or not. What I do know, however, is that it doesn't seem like the gameplay suits a style that seeks to achieve speed. At least not without being able to set the speed in a way that's like, I want to have to type 60 words per minute in order to survive for this long. Mostly I think this has to do with the way it's presented. Typing words on a screen is one thing, especially when they're all coherent sentences and phrases. They're all in one place and dead ahead, whereas this game has them coming from all kinds of angles where they can get muddled up with other words or lost in some distance blur. It's frustrating to say the least, and it's the one time where the style is actively working against the intended result. Other than that though, there are a ton of bugs to work through. Get it? Because the enemies are bugs? No, but really, one time I died on a warp pad and I warped but couldn't move or be damaged because I was dead, and I couldn't do anything, and that was a little buggy. You can usually find Epistory on the Steam store for $14.99, which is an excellent deal for this ticket for traveling on a spirit journey of creativity. For some reason, even though it's only a few dollars more, I'd even say that $18 sounds like a fair price. If you're skeptical of my approval, however, it has gone on sale for as low as $9.74, so there's that. Gameplay for Epistory: The Typing Chronicles earns an 8 out of 10 for its ability to use the mechanics of the typing game genre to weave an interesting and wondrous world that is marvelous to behold. Combined with creative challenges and its use of elemental powers that add that extra level of strategy, it's practically flawless. It does, however, have a few stray bugs here and there in a couple of areas where there's room for improvement. In value, it pulls off a perfect 10 out of 10 for the simple fact that it's something that is fun and hasn't really been seen before throughout the bundles thus far. Managing to pull off fun, creative, interesting, challenging, beautiful, and novel all in one go really makes it feel like a strong addition to any bundle, and this one is no different. I consider it one of the better experiences in this collection. With an average of 9 out of 10, Epistory earns an A, an excellent game that stands out in a crowd.